Oh man, fresh start servers are here, guys. I power leveled. No, I didn't. I leveled up at a pretty decent pace. I wasn't in a huge rush, but my primary goal was to gear myself out for PvP as soon as possible with the strongest build I could possibly get. I know if you guys have seen me in the other fresh start servers, you've heard this story before. It is such a good time for the early game PvP in New World. I don't know how to put it any other way. There's no other time in this game where you will have so many people flagged up and just PvPing and doing stuff all over the world. So yeah, I wanted to get ready. I wanted to flag up and jump into PvP as soon as I could too. But of course, I had to put together a proper build. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys how my day went and show you exactly how you can set up just as awesome of a build that can two-tap people that are your level. Oh my god, I can't believe it does this much damage. All right, let's begin. So right out of the gate, I already picked the wrong archetype. Kind of. I picked Soldier. I'm playing Musket and Rapier and Light Armor, so this doesn't give me the weapons that I want, and it also doesn't give me the armor weight that I'm looking for. But what it does give me is 50 weaponsmithing, 50 smelting, and 50 mining. My goal for setting up the PvP build is to try to get the most powerful weapons I can early on. These are going to be crafted blue weapons that you can make yourself, and you're going to need 50 in a bunch of different crafting skills to make these weapons / get the materials you need for them. And yeah, I just kept grinding the main story, basically. And along the way, trying to farm as much as I can, mine as much as I can, and of course, skin and chop as much as I can. Here, I'm just about to come up on 50 tracking and skinning, which means I should have enough materials to get the rugged leather that I need in order to make my blue weapons. I do already have access to the steel that I need to make those weapons, so all I need now is this little bit of gold, and I think the wood cutting. Well, getting those logs was definitely not hard at all. That just took about 15 minutes to get the wood cutting up there, get the logs I need. And now I have all the materials I need in order to make that that first level 15 rapier. Now I do have the void metal because I got lucky off of some iron ores getting that void metal drop. If I didn't, I would have to make those out of furnace, which means I would have to mine a whole bunch more iron than I actually did. So that's a little bit of luck there. Again, if you don't want to buy this stuff, you can always check the trading post to see if they have it. Okay, so I made the musket right away. I actually had all the materials I needed, so I've got both of my blue weapons sitting at almost 400 gear score. Kept going along the main story quest, and this is the Soul Warden's Ring. This is pretty much the best ring that we're going to get our hands on for quite a few levels here. It's got Hardy, it's got Leeching, Constitution. Yeah, can't ask for much more. Now that I have the Soul Warden's Ring, which is a huge important piece to get, I'm going to go out and do my main faction quest and just get my faction under my belt so I can actually flag up in PvP and, of course, purchase the faction armor. This is the last little bit of gearing that we have to do for early game. And the nice thing about this is that you literally, like, once you finish joining your faction, you do one faction quest and it gives you enough tokens to buy a full set of armor and all of the seals that you need to change it to the perks you want. And then after that, all that's left is to go and get the materials or supplies that I need. Just getting the potions, the regens, and the food. And the food I was able to make, the potions and the regens I was able to make. All of that stuff doesn't require a lot of levels or anything for you to make, so yeah, super easy to get set up for PvP. I had a lot of fun today right off the bat. I can't wait to jump back in tomorrow, make more improvements to my build, start working towards those purple level 30 weapons. Now, I'm going to go into the build in a little bit more detail here for you guys, as well as just talking about what order to take the abilities in as you're leveling up. So I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of the play-by-play on how I got all this put together, and let's take a look at that build. So, taking a look at the attribute points, I've got 25 in Constitution. I'm playing a very high damage build. Musket and Rapier benefit a lot from Dexterity Intel stacking, but I think having at least 25 points in Constitution for low-level PvP is definitely worth it, because the only heals you have are your consumables, and this will make all of them 10% stronger. Past that, dumping everything in offensive power is probably the best way to go. I've gone with 50 in Intel so I can hit these first two jump points. We do have a dot on the musket with the powder burn, so we can utilize that even early on, and then dexterity for the rest of our points to get the best scaling we can. And of course, the 5, 50, and 100 jump points for dex are awesome. So let's take a look at the weapon mastery that I'm running here. So I don't have my weapons fully leveled either, and I'm going to talk about how you kind of want to go through leveling these two weapons if you want to follow this build. I think that the first thing you want to do is unlock your shots. Power shot followed by powder burn, so you can get some offensive power as you start leveling up. But by the time you get to PvP, you want to have the first 2 power shot and first 2 of powder burn, as well as the full set of traps. And then the other important passive you get here is hustle for that haste on your roll. Super huge deal for early game because most people don't have access to haste right now. And then finally getting the tactical reload. This is a big deal because it just lets you burst harder on the musket. You can do a powder burn, roll into the power shot, and get a really snappy combo off on players. So yeah, these are the 2 big passives that you actually want. Past that, make sure you get all your points and traps in the first 2 there. For Rapier, it's kind of a similar deal. You want to focus on your abilities. I prefer to fill out the evade and the flesh trees as soon as possible. Flesh being usually my go-to for my first one that I fill out. Evade, you want to do at least the first 2, and then after flesh is finished, maybe put the rest of the points in there. Riposte, you can go as far as you want. At minimum, get the first one because the skill itself is very useful. I know some people don't like using Riposte. You could always go for something like Flourish and Finish or any other skill you want, really up to the user. But yeah, again, you just want to focus on getting your abilities and their various upgrades done for Rapier, kind of like the Musket. And then, of course, as you continue leveling up, just keep filling in those passives. I'll be going over this character every day with a new video so you guys can see the progress and where I decide to put my points or how I decide to rebuild. So let's take a look at the gear. That's the one that you guys all want to know about, right? This is the setup that I'm running here. We're going to start with the weapons. I've got the level 15 and the level 20 crafted blue weapons. These are easy to get, actually. It is almost no detour to get these. It takes maybe an hour tops to get the levels you need in order to make these guys, and past that, it's super straightforward. You just craft them at the crafting station under your named items crafting in your level 50 respective weaponsmithing for this guy and engineering for the gun. And that's it. These are the best weapons you have access to at this stage of the game. Anyway, so the jewelry, we've got this this amulet here. This one you get just by doing the main story quest, and this is basically the BIS one until you get higher level, or maybe if you get lucky and craft something better, but honestly, you probably won't find something better. That's pretty BIS. And then next we have the Soul Warden's ring. This gives leeching and hardy, and this again is given to you by the level 19 main story quest when you become a Soul Warden, and this is your BIS ring for a while. Pretty much all early game until level 40 or 50 if you manage to find a nice replacement ring. But, you know, Leeching Hardy is such a good combination of perks. Let's take a look at the gear. This is really straightforward. This is just the faction vendor gear. You guys know exactly how to get this. You join whatever faction you want to join, and then you go and you do literally one faction quest. With the bonus tokens you get, it'll be more than enough to buy a full set of faction vendor gear. And you just pick up the level 20 set. That's it. I have got a couple gems on here just for physical damage absorption that I managed to find. For fresh start, you might have a tough time finding gems. If you can gem everything out, you should. I think opals are probably the best bet for your weapons. And then physical or magical ward are all fine for this. Even fire damage absorption or something, or thrust absorption are fine for your gear. But it's really just the weapons you want to try to put opals on. The opals are going to be a nice damage increase. Probably the best early gem if you don't have the highest tier gem available. If you don't have opals, you can always go with an elemental gem like I did. Right now, it doesn't make a huge difference, but once we get a few more attribute points and levels, these will actually start to increase our damage more than the opal will. And then last but not least, we've got these Mystic Pants of the Scholar. I got this as a lucky drop. It's got Shirking Energy on it, which is a huge deal. It's stamina sustain when you dodge an attack, so as a roly-poly player and a build like this that's pretty squishy and relies a lot on movement to stay alive, Shirking Energy is a crazy good perk. If you can pick up legs that have them, by all means wear them. You can see these are a little bit lower level than my my other gear that I have here, only 295 gear score, but that perk is definitely worth it. And of course, guys, for early level PvP, you want to have consumables. You need health potions, you need regen potions, and you need a food that you can pound back whenever you can find some cover to get some more additional healing. Healing is the biggest factor to you dying early game. You don't have as much access to healing as you do when you have a finished endgame build. So yeah, definitely get these guys as soon as you can. Getting your Arcana up to level 50 is a great way to make your own potions. They can be pretty expensive to buy if you try to buy them off the trading post during the fresh start rush. So yeah, there you go. And there you go, guys. That is the build. I hope that you enjoyed a little breakdown of my fresh start experience and, of course, some of the PvP gameplay. I know there wasn't a ton of gameplay. There will be a lot more in tomorrow's episode because, well, I spent half the day getting ready and only the other half of the day looking for PvP. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see if we can find some nice 1vx out here. Yeah, open world PvP during the fresh start is something special. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Have a good one, guys. Oh, and catch me live on Twitch. Okay, bye.